I love Sunday nights. In my house, it's Sunday night movie night. We pop up some popcorn, crack open a frosty cold one, and fire up the projector for a couple hours of cinematic bliss. Well, one night, as I was running around prepping for our traditional weekly escape, my kids took it upon themselves to power up the projector and get the ball rolling. I heard the movie playing, so I ran in and found to my surprise that, for one, they knew which series of buttons to hit to get everything up and running, and two, they can't reach the projection screen to pull it down. And this is when it hit me. You know, this video looks kind of cool playing on this textured wall. So I said, kids, that's brilliant. Great work. Well, confusion set in, but as I watched the movie that night, with the screen pulled down into place by now, I kept pondering this projection method. You know, what if this projection image was actually a background for a set? What if I took it a step further and projected a jump back or an ETK element? Well, it's just crazy enough to work. So this week, we project with a projector a projected image as a background. You know, projection technology has changed in leaps and bounds over the last 5 years or so. There used to be a time when an average Joe couldn't shell out the necessary cash to pick one of these things up. And if he could, the projector was big and bulky and the output was pretty dim. Well, thanks to technology, people like you and me can pick one of these up for a decent price. And you get a projector that's durable, portable, and emits a pretty bright beam of light, or has a high lumen rating like 1700 to 2000 lumens, which is about the minimum you want for home and office use, or for what we're about to do today. Now, it couldn't be any simpler to hook up a projector. You get your source, either a laptop, which would hook into this input on the projector, or a DVD player, VCR, or a game box of your choice, and that would hook into either here, here, or here. Now, make sure that you're using the best possible output from your source to the correct input on your projector, meaning that if your source or your DVD player had a component output, you would use the component inputs on your projector. You're going to be happy that you did. All right. Let's fire this baby up. All right, first off, we're going to start with our background. And in this case, happens to be a projected background, jump back number 1131. I chose it because it's got this kind of look of the cosmos, which is perfect for our interview with the professor of astronomy at a local university. And what I'll do first is just kind of prop up the front of this projector. I just wanted to kind of fill the background behind our subject, and I'm not too worried at this point if it's a little crooked. It might just add to our effect. Let's take a look. Well, this is looking good, but if you notice the image looks a bit washed out, that's mainly because we have the overhead lights on. Oh, hey, and our interview is here. Hey there, Professor. Can you go ahead and turn those lights off for us? Thanks a lot. Great. Yeah, the background looks nice and vivid. But to keep it like that, we're going to need to keep light from falling onto the background. Let's get to work on the esteemed professor and see what we can do. For this, I've got a medium-sized softbox attached to our lamp here. It's going to provide a nice, soft, even light and a nice, soft shadow transfer on our subject. They're really great. Now, where we position this light is going to have a lot to do with how well we keep our background in the dark. Now, the physical position of our light stand is at about the 4 o'clock position. But when we get this thing up and turned on, we're actually going to have to move the lamp itself to cut out some spill. Let's take a look here. You see here in this position, the light is spilling on our background and washing it out. Keep swinging it around, and we get a little less spill. But I'm going for none at all. So let's flag this light with something. Now for this, I like to use a little piece of black foam core. It's cheap and I can get it in a variety of different sizes. And what I'm going to do is bring in a spare stand, and I'll go ahead and clamp it to that stand like, let's go like this. Good. And I'm just going to position it off to the side of the light, and then I'm going to get this dialed in. And I'll swing it in, and I just want to cover up the spill that's hitting the background, but not the light that's hitting our talent. It's looking pretty good. Subtle, but it works. It's these subtle details that are really going to help your image in the long run. Now I'm going for kind of a dramatic look here, so I'm not going to use any fill on the other side for our subject, but I am going to use a backlight. And I'm pinning to it a light amber gel just to kind of give us some warmth and also help our subject pop off that background. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Ah, yes, this is looking good. Another cool thing about using a projector is that if your projected image is a little too sharp behind your subject, well, you can just come to your projector and dial it out of focus right about to there, and there you have it. A nice, soft, swirly background. And this setup is really simple. Basically 2 lights and a projector for the background. All right, let's mix this up even further, shall we? All right, let's go ahead and get a couple stands up here and go and, yeah, my cloth backdrop. Good. Get that into place. Excellent. Very good. Okay, yeah, it's looking nice. Run over here and get my fan. Yeah, try to get a nice little blowing action on this background. Swap out that jump back. We'll try this one for now. And I might swap that jump back out, but we'll see. Get the fan blowing. Want to swap out that jump back there. Perfect. Well, there you have it. What's great about this technique is that the results are instant. I could take that footage right to my timeline and begin to edit. Had I shot this subject on a green screen for a key, I'd be spending extra time trying to dial in the key settings and the spill settings. You know, why waste your time keying when it's much more fun to project? Well, that's it for this week. Thanks a lot for watching. Good luck. Now let's watch a movie. A meteor that size could destroy the planet.